Alright, shalom, all praises be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, double honor unto the elder apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who are well and taught his truth. Salutes to all the sincere Akim Wakwath, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakatam, and Shabbat Shalom. And pretty much, this is from The Guardian, and it says the UK, right, the UK will commit to spending 5% of GDP on defense by 2035. GDP stands for gross domestic product, which is pretty much one of the economic metrics used to calculate an economy's growth. Okay, just putting it in basic terminology, that's simply what GDP is. So the GDP percentage per annum yearly is basically how much that economy has grown or shrunk, and then if you have 2 years of consecutive GDP decline, plus 2.5 or minus 2.5%, then that is economic terminology to say an economy is in a recession. But any amounts of growth is considered growth. So 5% is a lot. And as I always make the point when I do these type of shows based on the economics, is that don't look at the percentage amount and think it's a little. In economics, small percentages do a lot in real-time figures and data. 2.5, it obviously depends on what you're measuring, but 2.5% can mean millions. 1.5%, 0.5%. So a 5% increase is very rare to see. But then again, the article is not saying 5% GDP growth, it's just saying 5% of the GDP. So the GDP growth could be 1.2, 1.5, whatever. But 5% of that, the real-time figure, would be used on defense, which is still quite a lot of money. And they're saying by 2035, and there's a scripture that comes to mind, where it speaks about their houses shall rule forever. I haven't gone to that in a while. Let's see if I can find that. Right. This is Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So pretty much, they think that they're going to go forever, man. That's why you hear them making these lofty sort of claims and that, 2030, 2035, but we believe this place ain't going to reach no 2035, man. That's what, inside of just under 10 years, man. This place ain't got that long. So you're going to get caught with your pants down, essentially. Britain, And there was articles on it about 4 years ago. We did shows on it. See if I can find those and repost it. But, about 3-4 years ago, there was many articles coming out and news reports saying that the British Army is severely understaffed and underfunded, and if the Britain was to go to war right now, you know, wouldn't do very well, basically. You know. So it says the decision came after Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, prepared to join NATO leaders at a summit dominated by global conflict and expectations of European military self-reliance. Yeah, you got some figures here. I mean, I could get into the figures of it all, but to acknowledge that 5% increase would combine traditional defence spending of 3.5% with a broader whole of society category worth 1.5% of GDP. So they're trying to basically push money from the economy into the military. But 2035 is too far of a cry, man. You know, it's too far away, man. You know, the US president, who has in the past threatened to walk away from NATO unless allies step up their contributions, has also urged them to reach 5%. The US spends 3.4% of GDP on defence. The UK officials say the 5% ambition reflects the reality of modern threats, from supply chains and food prices to digital sabotage and economic coercion. Right. So that's pretty much the point, man. They're trying to up that military fund, man. You know, we know how it's gonna end. You know, scriptures speak about that, and yet there's fight. You know, they're gonna put their differences aside, and you know, ultimately try and fight the Lord and lose miserably. But you know, first it has to be the cancelling out in the valley of Jehoshaphat. You know, scriptures speak about that, man. So, you know, we see how it's all coming together. You know, Trump, you know, swearing on camera, saying that they don't know what the F they're doing, and things of that nature. It's popping off, man. So we're going to continue to watch and measure the times through the prophecies, man. You know, 2 Ezra 9, you know, measure the time diligently within itself, man. But yeah, I'm going to close this one out. Just a quick mention, man. Shalom.